everybody, did you know you can go to colinmon.com in order to get art and art prints? It's the only official source of art from me, so that's going to be relevant in a minute. colinmon.com. So hey everybody, I want to talk about this painting real quick. On the 25th of this month, I'm going to be starting the next Twitch Plays My Game thing called the March of the Mice. The previous one was called The Town of Nowhere, and you can find that on YouTube if you just search The Town of Nowhere. And if you go to RevScarecrow After Hours or RevScarecrow Highlights, you can find the condensed version for the Highlights channel. Honestly, probably the better way of watching it because it cuts down the voting time. But basically, people will vote in chat on what they want to do, and that's what this painting is about. It's also the shortest painting I've ever done on this channel. It's 35 minutes to finish. I've just gotten really good at drawing these little mice fellas. I think it looks good. It's a good painting. It's a simple one. Might be good for stuff later on down the line. But hey, let's talk about today's thing, because a lot of people want me to talk about NFTs. And I want to, start by saying that I own some Bitcoin. I own about $20 worth of Bitcoin. I don't know what it's worth right now. I haven't checked. But after doing some research, I kind of feel bad about that. Kind of real bad. But I feel like I need to just have that full disclosure and all that jazz. So what is an NFT? What is blockchain? What is all that? I have now officially become one of those YouTubers that has to explain blockchain to people. Not happy about this. So the blockchain was originally developed in order to help with contracts. Basically, if one contract was edited, you'd know because the other, the next contract in the chain would know about it because of the way it's set up. So a block in a blockchain is set up to have the data of whatever the thing is, be it money or an NFT or a contract. And then it has a hash mark for the thing itself, an address for where it exists, and then the hash mark for the previous one in the chain. And so if something changes with it, the next link in the chain will know about it. So you can't edit a contract that's in the blockchain without dealing with that. And that's great for contracts. It's a little weird, a little bit inefficient, but hey, whatever. It became a problem when it actually ended up getting used ever, which was with Bitcoin, and then eventually with Ethereum, which is what NFTs are currently being bought and sold with on the largest NFT marketplace, according to OpenSea, which is the website. So the problem with it is that they decided that in order for a Bitcoin or a Ethereum coin to be worth anything, which is Ethereum is a different cryptocurrency, it needs to have some way of limiting how many exist, because if you could just have as many as you want, it's not going to be worth anything. So they decided that a proof of work system should be in place. And so in order to have that proof of work, what they did was people would try and compete to solve an equation. Once they solved the equation, whoever did it fastest would get rewarded with a coin. And so what this caused is, let's just get the fastest, best supercomputers as possible and put them in a place where it doesn't cost us a whole bunch of money, because Bitcoin mining is an expensive electrical problem to deal with. So they put them in countries or places where there's fairly lax electricity concerns, where you could just run a coal power plant in order to get it. And so this creates an ecological disaster. This is where all these Bitcoins are coming from, where Ethereum's coming from. But that being said, Ethereum is supposedly moving away from a proof of work system eventually. However, I don't know as if that ever will happen, because they've been saying that for a while. So I feel like this video will be valid up until that point, and then we can readdress it when that happens. They're going to switch over to a proof of, I forget what it's called, proof of ownership, basically. Whoever has skin in the game is going to be more likely to get some, which has its own inherent problems. And again, this is not entirely relevant because that's not the system that exists right now. And it's not the system that looks like it will ever exist, based on the fact that this has basically become a joke amongst Ethereum users because of how just not a thing it's been for so long. The switching over from a proof of work system to another system is incredibly difficult. Whatever. So NFTs are different than cryptocurrency in that, whereas a cryptocurrency, let's talk about dollar bills. If I have a dollar bill and I trade you my dollar bill for your dollar bill, assuming that they're the same dollar bill, like they're both American dollars, for example, no one's gained or lost anything. Whereas an NFT is a non-fungible token. That is to say that it's similar to if I have a Charizard and you have a Caterpie, and we both have Pokemon cards, and I trade you my Charizard for your Caterpie, I have lost money. I've lost value because your Caterpie is worth like 5 cents at best, and my Charizard's gonna be worth a bunch of money. NFTs are based on a token that this is the one of it that exists. And this is where the issues really start. First off, if you just go to OpenSea, and I know a lot of people are against the idea of this entirely, but I looked into it because I feel like it's necessary. If you look, the art that exists is not good, and there's absolutely nothing to stop you from literally taking a screenshot of someone's art and then posting it again and again and again. When I was doing research for this video, I found 2 of the same art that had been uploaded literally within a second of each other. Ostensibly, there's nothing to stop you from stealing art from people, which is one problem that people have. But additionally, there's nothing that stops you from, let's say, picking any of these and screenshotting them, then selling them again. Yes, one has a separate token from another, so it's like one Charizard versus another. There's a limited number of Charizards in existence, but we can just keep making Charizards. There's nothing to stop us from doing that. So the inherent value of these things is really just like, how many Charizards can you print? There's no stopping that. There's no stopping how many Charizards could exist through the system. So that's an issue. Also, there's a fact that this does not constitute copyright. This is not a copyright. If you have a crypto coin or a NFT of a art, you do not have the copyright for it. Having one made does not give you copyright on it, because again, another one could easily be screenshotted. This is not legally binding in any way, shape, or form. If I want to make an NFT of one of my pieces, for instance, the one that you're watching me paint right now, I can easily do that, sell it to you, then make another one of the same thing. And there's nothing illegal about that, because it's a different NFT than the one that I sold you. I feel like a lot of this system largely is based around a fear of missing out, the FOMA thing. There was recently the whole game stonks thing that happened, and that raised a lot of people talking about cryptocurrency and about Dogecoin, and those just skyrocketed and they just exploded in value. And so this new cryptocurrency-esque thing exists, and so now everyone's talking about it, and so it has value. Let's take an example that I found that has been kind of selling fairly well over the last couple of days. It's called Chromie Squiggle number 5320. The guy who made it gives like a really crappy explanation of what it is, but it's a piece of crap art, and it's currently selling at $2,133 as of time of recording. This is not worth that. I could easily go and spend $2,000 on commissioning someone for art and easily have that. Cool. It has been selling consistently. It has been trading hands and listing by people for days. This is not worth anything. Now, this is obviously me just picking something out of the blue, but I feel like a lot of the art that is being sold on OpenSea is art that is made just for the sake of getting in on this and starting to do these transactions, starting to be here. If you've ever read that book that I recommended a couple years ago, the $12 million stuffed shark, I highly recommend it. It is a very direct look at the art market as it stands, with the blue chip galleries and all of that. And OpenSea claims that it's going to be able to get around that. But I just see more of the same thing, where it's not about what the thing is. A piece of crap art is selling for $2,000 because it's a piece of art that it's a commodity that can be bought and sold and traded later for when it goes up in value. This is how the art market works. This is how rich people use art. It is a commodity to be bought and sold. The aesthetic value of it is not as important as it being used as a thing. Additionally, some people do want to buy and sell good art, but can't make good art, so they just steal it. There's plenty of lists of Twitter accounts that are, you know, made for this purpose, and they just are bots that will steal art off of a post. I'm gonna list some of them here and just make it easy for you to be able to block them. If you block them, they will not be able to create tokens based on your art and will not be able to sell them on OpenSea. There are obviously more. I will not be able to keep up with all of them. This video is not comprehensive, but it's an age-old story of the art is valued because it's a commodity, and people are upset by it because of the ecological damage that it'll do. And people are seeing money. They're seeing, you know, the option to make $2,000 on a piece of crap. But don't do it, man. It's not good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe. I mean, you watched this long. I know a lot of people are going to say that I'm just cryptocurrency hater, and, you know, that's why I brought up that I own some, and after doing some research, I kind of do. But, you know, I feel like we needed to bring up those points, and it's really easy to just get into the hype. And I do not think that this is something that you should be hyping. I think this is going to crash, and I think it's bad for art. I think it's bad for artists, and I don't see this going anywhere. But I said the same thing about Dogecoin. So, there we go. Anyway, let me go ahead and thank the people on Patreon who make these videos happen. Starting with Wapfu. Thank you, Wapfu. Thank you, Top Houndor. Thank you, Tina Kill. Thank you, Targo. Thank you, Spencer Kane. Thank you, Orthogonal Caster. Thank you, Mortibus. Thank you, Micah. Thank you, Maliciousness. Thank you, Lost Nevada. Thank you, Kayla Hollinger. Thank you, Katana Squirrel. Thank you, James at Games. Thank you, Gala. Thank you, Duxu. Thank you, Dragon. Thank you, Demetrius Gazgalas. Thank you, Chiptune Glitch. Thank you, Bubba Fair. Thank you, Pep. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Amber. And thank you, Ants! Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you did. Let me know what your take is on the whole NFT thing. I hope I did a good job explaining it. I did a whole bunch of research trying to figure this thing out. And yeah, no, you won't find any of my stuff on there. And if you do, let me know. Because I'm going to do a DMCA so fast on that. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.